Yeah. Thank you.
2019 KPMG Women's PGA Champion Hannah Green joins us now. Hannah, welcome back to Hazeltine. How's the week been so far, and what kind of memories do you have being back here?
Yeah, it's been great so far. This is actually my first time being back since 2019, which is a little sad. I wish I'd kind of come up here and use my membership a little bit more, but the course is in great condition. It definitely feels like a major championship test when we come back here. So we had a little bit of rain yesterday. I was fortunate to kind of miss that in the morning, but the course is looking good, and I feel like my game's in good shape. So hopefully I can, play well again and defend this golf course.
Perfect. Questions for Hannah? Jim?
When you walk around here, and I know the practice rounds, but is there one hole, one shot, one moment and you stand at that spot and say, oh, I remember exactly what I did here?
Yeah, I think it's probably on the 18th hole, like hitting it into that front left trap and hitting it, my bunker shot to, 4 or 5 feet. I think that's probably the most memorable shot. But then there are, I made a putt on 5 on Saturday. I holed out on the 7th hole on the first round. So there's definitely shots that I remember. I also remember some of the bad shots as well, which is sometimes not a great thing. But it's nice to kind of relive those moments in the practice round. I do hit a lot further than I used to back then, because I spoke to someone, they just said pretty much hit it in every divot that you hit last time, and I said I hope that I can hit it a little bit further than I used to back in 2019, but I putted really, really well that week, and I think that's kind of the key here at Hazeltine. Yes, you want to hit fairways and greens, but I think they're quite tricky to read, so making sure that you leave yourself as many uphill putts as possible will probably be a big difference versus a downhill putt, so hopefully I can do that this week.
Juan?
So Hannah, it looks like not only the Women's PGA Championship is going to great golf courses, but it's repeating on those great golf courses, no?
Yeah.
So what does it mean for the women's game, no?
Yeah, it's great. I think it's nice to come back to venues where we have played before, but also play new ones. And so obviously we've playing Congressional, playing all these really amazing golf courses, obviously here in Hazeltine. And it's nice to come back for those who have won at these events. Maybe it's a little bit more added pressure, but it's also nice to be able to relive those really good moments out on the golf course. So I'm just going to try and not put too much pressure on myself and kind of soak it up while I'm out there tomorrow morning.
And about your game, so you look back, I mean, we can look back to 19 and where you are now.
Yeah.
What things have matured the most about your game?
Yeah, it was funny. I was playing in the Pro-Am yesterday afternoon, and I kind of said, I think if I was in the same position again, even now with my experience, I'd probably be more nervous because I want to win it even more than I did back then. I felt like because I was ranked outside the 100th, I didn't really imagine myself being in contention in a major that early in my career. So it was very new to me, and I probably didn't have any history of like performing unwell or badly under pressure. So I think now that I'm older, I feel like I probably feel more nerves and more anxiousness if I was in that position, which is a good thing because, you want to have nerves, and that's completely normal and human of people to feel that way in those conditions. But yes, I've definitely matured. It doesn't mean I hit better shots than I do back then, but I'm just really looking forward to getting back out there. It's been nice to see some familiar faces since 2019, and hopefully we get some good spectators and some good weather for them to come out.
I wonder, are you paying any attention to the World Cup? I mean, and I know, Australians in golf are always present, but not so present in football.
Yes.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Yes. I had a couple of people come up and say, like, what happened last week. I was out playing at the Maya Classic last week on Friday afternoon when Australia played America, and I obviously heard the result. I was playing with Grace Kim, and her caddy is American, and he kind of did a little fist pump, which was quite funny. But yes, I think the game is probably on when I'm teeing off again this week. I must admit, I'm not a massive football fan. Like, I'll get into the World Cup if it's on. But obviously Australians are very passionate about their sport in general, so go Socceroos.
Thank you.
Anything else for Hannah? Yeah.
Hannah, where on this golf course are you most comfortable because of 19? You mentioned the great shots, but is there parts of the course where you just feel like you're going back home or something?
Yeah, I think I tend to play well at venues where I've had success. I guess you can see that at Wilshire and also in Sentosa, where I've won in Singapore and in LA. So I think that has an advantage for me this week, is no matter how I'm perhaps performing, I can kind of use the positive memories in a good way. And I think I'll probably need to use that this week, being a major. You're going to hit poor shots out there. It's very easy to also hit good shots and have a poor result. So just making sure that I'm staying mentally patient is probably going to be the toughest test this week for me. I'm not typically the most consistent off the tee and hit a lot of fairways, so that's something I've been working on a lot with my coach, who's here this week to get me ready for this week. And I do feel like I hit it further than I did in 2019, so that will be helpful. But we obviously did get a bunch of rain. It's probably going to make the course a little bit longer. But yeah, it's just one of those weeks where you want to be aggressive at the right times, but sometimes hitting the middle of the green is going to be the best bet for you. So I'm kind of glad that, I have moments or holes where I can remember those positive things and kind of draw on that.
Where are the holes? Can you name the holes that you're like?
I think probably the first one would be 16. I birdied that on the last round to, get I think at that point a 2-shot advantage. And then SH Park birdied the last, forcing me to make par on 18. So those 2 holes are definitely the ones that stand out for me the most. And I also think they're a couple of the tougher holes. It depends really what the wind is going to do for us, what direction it's going to come in from. But 18 is a tough hole to make birdie, and sometimes even par is going to be a really good score on 18. So yeah, there's definitely pockets there that I'll have some memories that I can kind of rely on and kind of think back if there's time to think about them. It'll be nice to. I've already kind of recreated the shot on 18 and recreated the putt on 16 that I had, so that was fun.
And I think you were 1 under the last 3 holes for the tournament.
Yeah.
That's typically, people say that's the hard, like one of the killer stretches. Mm-hmm. What was it about that stretch that you liked?
Yeah, 16 I felt like was one of the tougher fairways to hit on the golf course. We played from a different tee that they've got compared to this year, so you actually couldn't see whether your ball stayed on the fairway. I guess there's a hazard in front, so there was a bit of fescue and also some weeds in front, so you were kind of guessing whether you actually stayed on or ran into the rough. So I actually think I hit that fairway every day, which was probably rare because I didn't hit many fairways for the actual tournament. But once I hit the 8-iron onto the green, I honestly just wanted a 2-putt, and when I finally hold that putt, I felt like I had other opportunities where I'd missed. It kind of felt very relieving at that point. I hit a good shot onto 17 and hit a good 2-putt, because that pin in the bowl, even though it's the easiest pin location, still having a downhill putt is quite hard to judge here at Hazeltine. And so I knew I needed par on 18. I managed to hit the fairway, and for me, I was kind of tossing between my 3 hybrid and my 4-iron, and I thought, okay, I'm a bit pumped up. I'm obviously in the lead. I'll hit the 4-iron, and I just pulled it into the bunker, and that's when I was like, okay, I know I need to make up and down to win. So I'd also hold a couple of bunker shots earlier in the week, so I had some, I felt good playing out of the bunker. I even said to my caddy in the practice round today, I think I prefer to have been in the bunker than long into the rough, because the rough is kind of unpredictable and probably not one of my strong points. So yeah, it's cool to say that I was under par the last few holes, because I think they're the most iconic here at Hazeltine.
Thanks for your time, Hannah.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, everyone.
Charley Hull is with us now at the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Charley, welcome to Hazeltine and your 12th appearance in this championship. How's the week been so far, and what do you think of the golf course?
Yeah, it's been good. I got here on Sunday evening, and the golf course is really good. Like, I felt like playing out here on Monday, the greens were pretty quick, and usually in the major week they kind of just get them quicker as the week goes on, but I felt like been pretty much quick from the get-go.
Perfect, thanks. Questions for Charley? Josh?
What did you learn, I guess your few practice rounds so far, what have you learned or remember differently from last time you were here?
I remember last time, I don't remember too much, but I remember last time being quite wet, and now it's actually kind of quite dry here. Like, the greens seem kind of a bit more, not burnt out, but a little bit more crusty to them than there was last time. It's a good golf course though. The back nine's challenging, has some very challenging holes.
Sarah?
I know you were pretty open at Riviera about that finish there. How have you maybe mentally reset after Riv?
Well, I went to Glen Eagles Tuesday morning after I got back and played some golf. I was pretty tired. I'm not going to lie, I was still tired at the end of last week, and I feel like I've only just recovered now. But I went up to Lytham. Me and my friend Ryan, who's here this week, we went and played Lytham on last Monday, and last Tuesday. That was really cool, and just played some rounds of golf. The weather's been very hot at home, a lot hotter than it is here.
How are you motivated again coming into a major?
I'm always motivated coming into majors. Just want to go out there and have fun and make some birdies.
Is this a golf course you feel like suits your aggressive Charley style of golf?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. It is a challenging little golf course, and there is a lot of birdie opportunities out there. But also, you've got to be kind of very good with your irons this week because there's some narrow greens.
Just gonna kill me for asking this, but I saw you gave some love to Mel Reed yesterday in front of the commissioner. Can you just speak to that in your two's relationship? I saw the Melvin on your Instagram story.
Yeah, I was howling. I think she was on the chipping green with the commissioner, and he hit a good chip, and then Melvin went across and hit a chip, and she ducked it. It was just the most funniest thing ever.
What'd you text her?
I just put it on my Instagram, just loads of laughing faces.
Jim?
Charley, what part of your game has improved the most in the last few years? You've had a pretty good stretch in the last year at the end of the year, and then the first majors of this year.
I'd say probably just my all-round game. It's got good. Even when I have a few bad holes, I can just bounce back from it and just stay more patient. And if I have a bad round, I don't mentally think, oh, I'm out of this. I just kind of think, right, come on, let's just get it back.
Josh?
Yeah, kind of on that same note, three major top 10s in your last three starts there. Besides playing better, are you doing anything differently? Is it different preparation, different mindset, anything like that?
Not really, no. I just feel like I play plenty of golf and just really up for the majors. Yeah.
Juan?
So I was wondering, do you have any memories of the Ryder Cup here in 16?
No, I can't really remember, no. I think my coach was did Rory hold a putt on 17 or something?
Yeah.
This was yesterday. I can barely remember when we was back here in 2019, let alone 2016.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming you're watching the World Cup, so I wanted to get your analysis so far of the English team.
I'm not going to lie, I've not watched one round yet, not watched one game of football yet. I've actually been busy, so I've just heard like little bits and little bobs. I watched the scores online, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So no analysis, huh?
No analysis.
Good.
Sarah?
How are you using the experience at Riviera as fuel?
Just got to use it as positivity, really. Feel good, feel refreshed, and just ready to go again.
How critical are these weeks off? And this is such a massive stretch for
Yeah,
us. Like, how
it
critical
is.
are those weeks at home?
Yeah, massively. So it's just all about rest and recovery and still getting enough practice in, but then not burning yourself out. And after this week, it's nice. I'll be back at home in the UK probably until like September time, so it's good.
All right. Thanks for your time, Charley.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
2021 KPMG Women's PGA Champion Nelly Korda is with us now at the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Nelly, welcome back to Hazeltine for your 10th appearance in this championship.
Wow.
Two major
Old.
Two major victories already for you this year. How are you feeling coming into this one?
Yeah, great. It's definitely nice to be back. Was here in 2019, so have some good memories. And I didn't really remember the golf course up until I walked onto it. So it's definitely nice to be back, and it's going to be a great test.
Thank you. Questions for Nelly?
So
Juan?
we were talking about the golf course. So compared to 19, do you see any changes? And what would be the challenges here?
I think the only change that I really remember is we're on a different tee box on 16. So we're a little higher up. We were by the water. Conditions are great. I know that we got a lot of rain yesterday, which probably helped the golf course a little bit. It was definitely firm and fast. The greens are pretty bare, so I think that's a really big defense of this golf course is actually going to be like distance control and speed, just because there is a lot of undulation and it is fast. And this afternoon the winds were pretty high, so that does affect the putts a little bit more. But overall, I mean, the golf course is in great condition.
Will you say, and maybe everybody's talking about the putting, like you said, no? Will you say putting?
Putting, yeah, sorry.
Will you say you're putting right now, and how the way you're putting right now would be appropriate for this week? You are at the level that you want to be.
Hopefully, yeah. You always hope to be prepared for every golf course. It doesn't just mean putting; it means kind of everything. The short game, your shots into the greens. I mean, it is a premium as it is on every major to hit the fairways, and they're not the widest, and it is a very much so placement golf course on the fairway and on the greens. So, hopefully, every part of my game is in tip-top shape.
Beth Ann?
How's the grip feel?
Much better. Yeah, I had a few days to work on it. It still gets a little weak here and there. It's still, I have to remind myself of it, but it feels way better than the Open. Now I'm actually kind of seeing it overdraw, which I prefer than a right shot.
Yeah. Seeing you in New York City, you seem more at ease in those situations. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think, I told myself, obviously in 2024, it was all very new to me, right? So, at the end of the day, I feel like in everything that you do in life, if you're in the finance world, if you're doing this, the more that you put yourself into that position, the more comfortable you get. And I think the biggest change that I told myself I'm going to make is I'm just going to be authentic and be who I am. And either that comes across great or it doesn't. But I just want to be genuine, and I was actually having a lot of fun in New York. It's fun to be on a different stage and in front of different people and doing something that helps the game of golf and kind of puts us on a broader stage.
Mark?
Nelly, I was curious your thoughts on the LPGA Hall of Fame, the points system.
Yeah.
Where you just play your way in, and being so close, and your thought process. Is it part of your thinking whenever you're trying to control your emotions?
I wouldn't say it's a motivating factor, but it would be something that would be an absolute amazing accomplishment to be alongside some of the best that have ever played in this game on the LPGA Tour. But if it's a motivating factor to me and I'm like thinking about it, not necessarily. Like, I just enjoy playing golf and I enjoy being in the hunt in tournaments, and I always say good golf kind of solves everything, and that's my main focus, is kind of just trying to play consistent good golf.
What's your thoughts on the system? I mean,
It's one of the hardest Hall of Fames to get into for sure, but I've never really truly looked at it. If I'm being honest, I don't even know how many points you need to get into it. Yeah. How many?
Then, right?
27? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that tells you.
Do you know how many you have?
I know I'm close. Yes, I do know that, but I do not know much more about that. I kind of like to be oblivious about it in that way. Like, I know a lot about the stuff that I want to know about, but I don't want to put extra pressure on myself. And if I constantly think about that, then I feel like the game of golf is already hard enough. And if I add more pressure on myself, then it's going to be even harder. So it's not that I think it's an amazing accomplishment, and it would be one of the best achievements of my career for sure, but is it a motivating factor of like the reason why I go out and play every single day and practice? I would say no. I just want to compete well in tournaments.
We won't tell you where you're at then.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah?
What was the come down like after the U.S. Women's Open at Riv?
Well, I played the next week with a live in Midland at Dow, and I was very tired. Honestly, I couldn't go to sleep, and every single morning I woke up, I didn't want to wake up. So I'm still a little tired from it, but I had a nice week at home to kind of refresh and recharge the batteries. But yeah, I mean, it was fun to go to New York and kind of celebrate that, the win. And then being at home, I kind of went straight into grind time. I mean, I got home Monday really late at night, took Tuesday off, and then started on Wednesday.
You just said the word fun there. We saw that video you posted. Well, we've seen both videos you posted this week of the left-handed shot.
Oh, yeah.
And the twirl video that I tailgated for you.
Yeah.
What's been the key to your just having fun this year? It seems like you're so settled and just having a blast with all of this.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the golf course, so I went back into my photos and I was like, okay, because I really, other than a few holes, I couldn't remember it. I need to work on my memory. But I found that lefty video and I told myself I need to recreate it. So it was fun to do that. And then, I don't know, I also want to show everyone like my personality, that I do laugh and I am a little bit of a dork, but on the golf course, I'm really serious, obviously, but it has been fun, especially with the platform that I have, to kind of share my personality a little bit more.
How would you define your personality?
A little dorky, for sure. The people that know me, definitely dorky.
Appreciate it.
Bethan?
Yeah. In 2013, you were in the field when NB was trying to win 3 majors in a row. Mm-hmm. I know you had a lot going on that week, but
13, yeah.
Did you process what she was doing at that time? What kind of history she was making? Do you remember much about that?
No, not at all. I mean, I was just so mesmerized by being there. And I remember making the cut on the number. There was a fog delay, and I was late early, and I was kind of on the number. I had a really good first day, and then the second day, I think I shot like between 4 to 6 over. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that too. And there was a fog delay, and they had to go back Saturday morning to continue play, and I just made the cut on the number. And I remember there was a par 4 that was moved up, and I hit a driver to 5 feet, and I made that putt, and that eagle donated some money to a children's hospital, and I got interviewed after, and I said in this interview, I was like, well, you just gotta risk it to get the biscuit. And that was my first quote, and then I look back at it now, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am a dork. I've always been a dork.
So perfect. But what you're trying to accomplish this week has only been done twice before in the women's game. Have you kind of let that sink in a little bit, just appreciating the moment that's ahead of you, and do you feel pressure?
No, I'm just out here trying to play golf, for sure. I think I have a very in-the-moment mindset this year, which I'm just trying to take towards the end of the year, and no matter what happens, I've just told myself, if I am lifting the trophy, that is obviously the main goal at the end of the week, but I'm going to prepare, or I'm going to focus on my preparation and know that I'm 100% confident in it and lean on that.
Josh?
Nelly, you had was it Monday you were in New York, or what days?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay, what was your schedule like since? When did you get here, and what's kind of your practice schedule been like?
Yeah, so I went, I flew out from Midland on Sunday after the tournament, landed in the evening time, and then I did that whole day in New York on Monday. Got home Monday night. Then I took Tuesday off because I was just tired. Practiced Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then got here on Sunday. And then played early morning on Monday morning because that's kind of what I like to do. I like to go out one of the first ones on Monday. And then yesterday was an 18-hole Pro-Am, and then I played the front nine today. Yeah.
And apologies if this has already been asked, but anything you've learned this time around, or something you remember differently than previous time you were here?
No, I would say that obviously the greens are very bare and fast, and then with the wind, it's going to obviously be a big defense of this golf course. The rough is really thick too, especially around the greens, and as it is every major, there is a premium in hitting the fairway because if you don't, you can easily run through these greens if you're in the rough, and then it's just a hard time to make a bunch of up and downs. So a premium on every part of your game, which I love in major championships. It really tests every part of your game, even your mental of staying patient. The biggest change I've seen is just a new tee box on 16.
We'll finish up with Mark.
And Nelly, keeping with the Hall of Fame theme here, I was curious, Patty Berg, 15 majors. She's from from Minneapolis, and she's been gone like 20 years now. But curious what, obviously one of the leading pioneers of the tour. And do you know anything about her, or what's your knowledge of her in the history of golf?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being in the Hall of Fame, I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment. 15 majors, that's something that you don't see too much in the game of golf. But it's funny because the legends that were around, I adore them. They're absolutely amazing. And as for, I never got to meet Patty Berg, so didn't really get to know her too well. Yeah.
Can you speak to the $13 million is the purse here this year? A lot has been made of that. I think one of her leading money years, she was $16,000.
Yeah, it's
1957. Just the evolution of the.
Yeah, the evolution of sports in general. I mean, you see that across every sport. It is quite amazing because when we play in these major championships and we have the champions dinners like we do at Chevron, and we had one this week, we sit amongst each other, and sometimes that does get brought up. They're like, oh, how much did you win winning this tournament? How much did you win winning this tournament? To see like the evolution of where the women's game is to what it is now, or what it was to what it is now, is quite incredible. You see that across every sport. You see that in tennis. You're seeing that right now in basketball too. I mean, it is quite amazing to see the investment and in women's sports, and we're just really grateful for our partners to continuously raising the bar.
Thanks for your time, Nelly.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
What is the best agency in the world? Yeah. Yeah. You're not here. Yeah.
Lydia Ko joins us now at the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Lydia, welcome back to Hazeltine and your 14th appearance in this championship. What do you think of the golf course?
The golf course is great. I think it is one of those courses where it's fair, like everything is in front of you. It's not tricked up in certain ways. I think apart from the weather we had yesterday, it's meant to be really nice, and maybe a little bit of wind over the weekend. So yeah, it's going to be fun. In all honesty, I really can't remember much of the golf course. I stood on the first hole on Monday, and if someone told me it was a redesigned hole, I would have said, oh yeah, that sounds about right. So not many memories to kind of draw back from, but at the end of the day, you just have to play really solid golf over the 4 days on any given golf course. So yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks. Questions for Lydia? Juan?
So Lydia, this talks again about the Hall of Fame. I mean, in relation with Nelly this week, I wanted wondering what it meant for you when it happened, and if it changed your career in any way.
Yeah, I was only 1 point away when Nelly and I was actually in the playoff in Bradenton, and just the way that I lost by 3 putting, and the way that she finished for us both to get into the playoff, it was a lot of drama in the span of like an hour or so. And honestly, when that was done, I was pretty heartbroken, for feeling like you're almost there and you feel it in your hands and then it be gone. It's I think emotions that I had really never felt before. And after that, I really didn't put myself in contention that much. Obviously, every time I sat in front of media, that was the question, like, you're only 1 point away. And I feel like Nelly's going to handle that much better than I did, to be honest. But, what I have imagined myself to go in the Hall of Fame by winning gold in the Olympics, probably not. I think at the end of the day, things happen for a reason. It wasn't my time in February, and a few months later in the summer, I was able to clinch that last point. And I think when it doesn't happen, you think your life's going to be dramatically different, to be honest. That's how I thought. I felt like, okay, me being in the Hall of Fame, that is like the ultimate thing. But when it does happen, you're obviously very grateful, and it's a mix of a lot of positive emotions. But really, my life hasn't changed much. Just because I'm in the Hall of Fame, I'm not an inch taller. I don't walk around a little taller. I'm obviously very proud of my career, but it really hasn't been that dramatically different. But just to be able to excel at your job and at your work at the highest level, not everybody gets to do that. And I think that's probably the most grateful thing and the takeaway that I take from it. But it is very exciting that Nelly is only 2 points away. I truly believe that it's around the corner with the form that she's been in, and that's a success not only for her, but a great moment for our tour and women's golf and women's sports. So it's exciting. It's exciting to witness that. Imbi was the other player that since I've been playing was in the Hall of Fame. So to see somebody else get in the Hall of Fame, I think is really awesome.
You have answered a good part of my follow-up question, but it's when you get a lifetime award like that, or a career award like that, how do you do not to feel like, okay, I've done what I had to do? How do you keep motivated? How do you keep wanting to compete and winning more things?
I think, as long as I'm teeing it up every, whatever week it is, I do want to play good golf. I want to put myself more in contention. I was talking to my mental coach a little bit about all of this and kind of where I am mentally, how I approach tournaments, how I approach rounds, the feedback I get from events. I think in ways I'm a little bit more open-minded. If I am not hitting the ball great, or if I'm not putting well, I might try a few things new or try things on the golf course and try and figure it out, because every round can be a learning opportunity for the tournaments coming up. So I think in that way my mindset has changed, but I still get nervous on the first hole and the last hole, and I missed a cut by 1 at both the Chevron Championship and the U.S. Women's Open, and honestly, it sucks. I think there's no denying that. It doesn't matter how many times you play those championships.
Yeah.
I know that there's less ahead of me than how many I've played before. So, it's I still want to play well. I don't think there's a secret on how I keep motivating myself, but I do know that probably the time when I don't feel a lot of these emotions is probably when it's time for me to step away, because I am prioritizing other things, and that's not a bad thing, right? I think there's so many different cycles of life, and I think I'm still super excited for this week. Obviously, this is one that I've never won before, and Julie Inkster was like, "Oh, when are you going to be at the dinner?" And I was like, "I haven't won this event." So maybe I could join her and, as Danielle and, so many other players at the table someday. But I know that just by me winning this week or this championship, it's not going to be a big difference from me not doing it. So yeah, I think it's just a different mindset, and I think that's just the nature of people's points in their careers.
Yep. Sarah?
Has the Grand Slam become the new kind of Hall of Fame for you? Is that the new question everybody likes to ask you?
Yeah, it's kind of, and it's a weird kind of thing because some players played when there was only 4 majors. Now we're playing in 5. Like, is 4 a career Grand Slam? Like, I think if there's 5 is it. I've still got 2 to go, and obviously 1 is already passed. So it's, I don't know, like the Hall of Fame was probably not one of my biggest goals. I think when I got close to that, yes, that was on my mind. But I always thought the career Grand Slam was something that I really wanted to do. But now thinking about it, it's very hard. It's hard enough winning 5 majors, and to win all different ones is pretty difficult, I would say. And to be at your peak at the majors, every time it comes around in the span of 4-ish months, it's hard. And I mean, Nelly winning the first 2 is almost unheard of in ways. So yeah, it's I think that has always been a goal of mine. But like I said earlier, like if I get and accomplish the career Grand Slam, like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm better than myself in like 2 years ago or 5 years ago. And it's like people are like, you can't retire until you do that. And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know. Like if they told me that if I played the next 5 years and I would do it, then yeah, then maybe I would. But there's no guarantees, and I might as well just enjoy it while I do get to play these amazing championships.
How do you shut out that noise and kind of put that to the side and focus on the task at hand?
Honestly, I've had a lot of questions this way, throughout my 13 years on tour. And, I think even as an amateur, it was like, when are you turning pro? When are you turning pro? Are you turning pro now? Are you, like, it was like that. And then it's like, when are you winning your first LPGA event as a member? Then it's like, when are you going to break Morgan's record? It's like, there's always something. And I think it's great to have a goal. It's always great to have something to reach towards too. And I think that's the same for no matter what ranked player you are. So yeah, I think I've gone through all that, so now I deal with it better. And it honestly, like I hear it, and I'm not a robot where I can just like let it go out the other side, but I just don't think I let that affect me as much on how I approach these events.
Beth Ann?
Lydia, what impresses you the most about what Nelly's doing right now?
I think her worst finish was at Dow, and like she had a 50% win rate, and she won, then went second. It was like something crazy like that, and it's pretty unheard of. I know in this day and age, like Scottie Scheffler is probably the only other player that has kind of had that streak. Scottie's another one. You're like, oh wow, he's 50-somethingth, and then you look on Sunday, and he's like 1 or 2 shots away from Rory at the Masters. I was like, how? So it's pretty amazing. She has, I think, a lot of like hard work ethic, and I think that shows. But she does it very productively. I think Gino said in a press conference maybe within the last couple of weeks, and she kind of Nelly gets her job done in the morning or in the afternoon, and then she's out of there, and whether she's resting or working out, and I think that's a very good approach to things, and I think that's one of the secrets to having a very long, sustainable career. If you put in your 110% and being out at the golf course for 12 hours a day, every day, yeah, it can work, and I'm sure that hard work will pay off, but at the same time, you have no life. And I think that's what she does so well at. She's a great sister to Jess and Sebi, and I'm sure a great daughter to her parents, and she goes to aunt mode to Grayson, and I think like having that balance is so important, and that's honestly something that I've really learned to do better these last few years, especially meeting my husband. So I think you meet people along the ways and things happen, and it gives you a better perspective on how to approach things. And, I've gone from being a teenager where I hated myself for shooting 79 at the New Zealand stroke play, but now I hate myself a little less. It's not like it hurts less, but I don't let that affect me as much. But I still care, but it's just like I think with age and experience, those things like no one can really take away from you. And I think those are probably some of the biggest keys that I've learned in these last 13 years than how to stroke a putt. I think it's more complex than that. And now I can kind of understand when people say like there's life learning lessons that you can get from golf outside of just being a good athlete.
We'll finish up with Mark.
Lydia, I was curious, your thoughts on the Hall of Fame, the point system where it's in no one else's hands. I mean, it's in your
Someone much smarter than me has come up with this 27-point system. I know it has changed over the years, like even the World Golf Hall of Fame, I think criteria has changed. And I think that's why Lorena got in a few years ago about the 10-year stuff. Yeah, I have zero opinions because I don't even know where to start with all this. But I think there's a lot of players that have careers that are like Hall of Fame worthy. And yeah, it's just really hard. Like I have no idea like how this all happened. And I'm grateful that I made it to the 27-point entryway and have won a couple more events after that, but yeah, it's above my pay grade. I was never good at maths, and all the calculations and all that, so it's probably not something that I could even have a opinion about, to be honest.
There's people above your pay grade?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's personal, so I can't.
I was curious. You mentioned February to December where you were a point away. Do you remember how, I can look it up, but how many tournaments or where it was in your mind you were 1 point away?
I was like 2 points away for a while because I had won the 2022 CME Tour Group Championship, which was our last event of the year. And in 23 was kind of like, I was player of the year for the first time in 7 years, and just that itself was a feat. And I think when I got that win, that was when there was a lot more conversation about when are you going to get in the Hall of Fame? Like, are you going to get in? It was like a lot of that. And I was winless in 2023. I won once on the LET, and that has no direct effect to our point system. So yeah, it felt like I struggled so much in 2023. I think I finished 100th in the CME rankings that year, that I was honestly by the middle of the year not worried about being in the Hall of Fame because I was just trying to break par. And for a pro golfer to say that, I think it's like people are like, what? But I was at a point where I couldn't even shoot 72 or whatever the par was. So for me, getting in the Hall of Fame or being in the Hall of Fame, that player was very far away from that player that I was in that moment in time. So it was like that was really like a far reach, but I did win the first tournament of the year in 24, our Tournament of Champions, and that got me 1 point away. And so it was from that point to like July, August, so like maybe 6-ish months.
Thanks,
but yeah.
Lydia. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Gaby Lopez is with us now at the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Gaby, welcome to Hazeltine and your 11th KPMG Women's PGA Championship. How's the week been so far, and how are you feeling about your game heading into tomorrow?
The week has been great. I remember the golf course a couple of times, a couple of holes, and it's still spectacular. I feel that Hazeltine National Golf Club is such a great venue for us, for Ryder Cup, for such championship golf courses and tournaments. So I don't know, I love the venue, and yeah, I'm feeling ready and excited.
Great. Questions for Gaby? Juan?
Sure. Gaby, I mean, I would say you come very strong from the U.S. Open, no? And tell us about that new Gaby, no? The Gaby that you rediscovered there and that is coming to a major now, no?
Yeah, you know, we all learn a lot from our mistakes when we go back and we analyze them. But I also feel that we learn a lot when you perform well. And I'm learning that I'm capable of holding myself into the back nine of a major championship on a Sunday. And I think that's awesome. It's really exciting. I'm learning that perspective means a lot out here in this game. Being able to change perspectives when things are going not well or well. I'm trying to play a little more stress-free, a little bit more relaxed, not too judgy in myself, not too hard, and be a little kinder and loving my game and just enjoying myself out there.
Sarah?
That was such an impressive performance from you. I know in front of a very friendly crowd. What did it mean to play that well in front of so many of your fellow Mexico natives and things of that nature?
It meant the world for me, especially because that venue, you know, it's going to hold the Olympic Games in 2028, and I really want to get to know the golf course as much as I could. But yeah, it was hard, not going to lie. I was nervous. I was tense at the beginning of Sunday's round, and the crowd didn't make it any easy on me. They were just yelling in Spanish, hey, you're going to win, everything's going to go well, and you still have to hit the fairway, you still have to hit the green. So being able to get locked in, and as the round passed by, and learning that golf rounds build up. There's nothing that you can score it since hole number one. You have to build your round up. And you build it with good routines. You build it with good feelings, with good rhythm, and the more you do that, then you find yourself a little more comfortable under pressure. And I think that's what happened. That putt at 18, I was way more comfortable at the beginning. But yeah, being able to play great in front of so many Mexicans, it was just like playing at home. It was great. I love the support. I love the staff at RIV. I said it before, and I give a lot of credit to how much that energy comes into play when we're playing the U.S. Women's Open.
I know you're really close with your grandmother. Did she get to watch or see any of it? Did she call you? Did she have any words of wisdom?
Of course. My grandma, she's the wisest person I know. She just kept telling myself, hey, you're not alone out there. Everyone's with you, and even God, you know, your grandpa in heaven. So, I mean, I get emotional just by kind of going back at it. And yeah, I mean, just the amount of support, the family, my team, everyone around me has been amazing.
And then just last one for me. How motivated does that performance make you when you look ahead to a week like this?
Oh, I'm extra motivated. I mean, learning about yourself that you can win a major championship, not a lot of girls and not a lot of players get to have that chance. And, you know, it wasn't a chance to win, but it was a chance to be up there on the last 3 holes. So being able to learn that I can handle myself, I can, you know, just kind of stay patient and disciplined mentally, it was awesome. So I'm so excited. I'm very motivated. I don't care what happens, honestly. I'm just going to go out there brave and hit my shots, my targets, and see what happens.
Juan?
I'll do a couple more in English. So the fact that you're going to play with Gino and with Charley this week, do you think is a validation, is a recognition of the level of your golf right now?
I think so. My caddy keeps telling me, hey, you're doing things right. Like, it was not a situation. It's more like a process that we've done very, very well. So I feel that I love playing with the best players in the world, and that's exactly where I want to be. That's exactly what I practice for, to put myself to prove that I can compete just against them. It's so fun, honestly. And yeah, I feel the more nervous it is, the more nervous you get, the better it is. You know, the more fun you're gonna have. So I don't know. I feel that, you know, you feel those butterflies inside of you. It's a great sign.
Yeah. And we were talking about the fans and the followers. I mean, this is not an accident. I mean, you've been cultivating and connecting with the Latinos and Latinas in the golf courses for a while. There's more and more Latinos and Latinas playing golf in the United States. Do you feel that week after week? No?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's crazy because everywhere we go on tour, doesn't matter if you're in Singapore, Thailand, there's a guy or a girl wearing a green shirt from Mexico, and they're just yelling "Vamos," and that's awesome. Yeah, it's great to have the support in the community. You know, we don't have lots of Mexican players on tour. We don't have lots of Mexican guys on the PGA Tour, so being able to still feel the support, especially right now this summer we have the World Cup, and Mexico is playing tonight, and I'm so excited. You know, I brought my shirt, and I'm gonna wear it tonight. So I think the passion we have for anything, it could be soccer, it could be cuisine, it could be golf, it could be anything. It's awesome. I think we all share the same feeling.
Okay. Spanish? En español. Hablemos de la nueva Gaby. La Gaby que ya conocías, pero que redescubriste en el US Open y que va a jugar esta semana aquí, ¿no?
Sí, bueno, me emociona muchísimo saber que puedo estar en los últimos 5 hoyos del torneo con un chance de ganar un Major Championship, saber que puedo tener la paciencia, la disciplina mental para darme una chance. Las rondas de golf se van construyendo y creo que eso hicimos muy bien el domingo, fue construir la ronda de golf y no estar ansiosos por meter birdies al principio cuando no entraban, ¿no? Entonces, muy contenta con el proceso que estamos haciendo mi equipo de trabajo y yo, emocionada por lo que pase en los siguientes torneos. Sé que no va a ser la última vez que voy a estar en esa posición y es por eso que no me presionaba de más, porque decía, hey, tranquila, no va a ser la última vez. Y no tenía que acelerar o no tenía que adelantarme o presionar algo que no era para mí. Entonces, nada, aceptar un poquito más, estar más tranquila, relajada y súper contenta con el proceso que estamos haciendo mi equipo de trabajo y yo.
Te decía el hecho de que vas a jugar con Gino, vas a jugar con Charley, con algunas de las mejores del mundo. Yo sé que el ranking no es tan importante para ti, pero estás cerca de jugar de estar en el mismo nivel que ellas en el ranking.
A ver, yo la verdad, sinceramente, mi psicólogo me lo dice todo el tiempo. Me dice, Gaby, tienes cabeza de campeona mundial y esa cabeza me la tengo que solita yo alimentar y creer. Definitivamente, sí, el ranking es bueno, dice un número, pero al final el ranking de Gaby López está en qué hago todos los días. Ahí está exactamente mi ranking, ahí está mi posición, ahí están mis hábitos. Porque no puedo controlar lo que hacen las demás, pero puedo controlar exactamente lo que hago todos los días. Y creo que le aplaudo increíble a mi equipo de trabajo, a mí, de las cosas que hemos hecho bien. El golf es súper impredecible, podemos fallar el corte o podemos jugar bien esta semana. Llega un punto donde ya no me asusta ninguna de las dos. Creo que estoy más en paz y trato de tomar las semanas un poquito más a la ligera, más tranquila y realmente sentir eso.
Bueno, hablemos del Mundial, ¿okay? Entonces, tus consejos para el vasco para el partido de hoy. ¿Qué tiene que hacer México?
Aguirre, danos otra win. Bueno, México, a ver, no importa cómo estemos jugando, ganamos los primeros 2 partidos. Creo que podemos ajustar para poder seguir compitiendo en un alto nivel. Definitivamente cuando nos ponen un rival más difícil, México sube su nivel. Y eso es la garra mexicana, la pasión que tenemos dentro. Entonces creo que España y México estamos haciendo un buen equipo juntos. Y nada, ganen o pierdan. O sea, México está con ellos siempre.
Y hablábamos de los latinos, pero hablábamos de los latinos aquí, cómo se está viviendo el Mundial, ¿no? Tienes un Cádiz colombiano, amigas españolas, tú medio española,
Sí.
México, ¿cómo lo estáis viviendo?
Sí, creo que mi atención está mucho ahorita en el Mundial. Me encanta la energía que estamos, justamente, ¿no? Los Cádiz, las jugadoras, mi esposo, mi familia, que estamos aquí todos juntos. Nos vamos a reunir hoy en la noche, vamos a ver el partido. Es muy especial tener el Mundial y más en México. Nos jugamos en el estadio Azteca, entonces, nada, me encanta esa energía, esa pasión, porque así como la vivo yo, la viven 150 millones de personas más.
Muy bien. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Gaby.
Thank you, guys.
Good week.